is up, YouTube? It's currently, it's 4 a.m. and getting my cheeky breakfast in before work. So let's have a look what we got. Just gonna peg the mic up here. Alright. Cheeky little couple eggs, chili jam. And this isn't my typical breakfast, but I had to switch it up today. Well, I didn't have to, but I felt like it. So, usually I'll have 2 eggs, 5 egg whites, and oats, berries, and honey, but overnight oats today. Made on water, but still. Let's have a look at the macros. Bro, I might just chuck it up on the screen if I can, but it's just trust me, it's a devious meal, bro. This will keep me satiated for a while, because 2 eggs have got a decent amount of fat, as well as the 15 grams of dark chocolate. Yeah. I'm just going to enjoy this meal. We'll see when I pick this camera up again. Probably might be on my break at work, just to show off what meal I've got there. Yes, sir. Hey guys, this is meal number 2. It's 150 grams of turkey, 150 grams of extra lean beef mince, 100 grams of broccoli, 170 grams of sweet potato, and 130 grams of rice. Technically, it's meal 2 and 3 all together. I'll give you guys a quick look. Look at that shit. Solid sauce right there. It's a barbecue peronaise, or barbecue, very barbecue. The Nando's sauce. Looking fucking crazy. So, I'm gonna enjoy the shit out of this meal. Anyway, this is probably looking like 800, 900 calories right here. And then I only have another meal basically for dinner tonight. So I'll be living off of black coffees. Sorted. Alright. Don't mind the fucking mess in the back seat. But while I enjoy a little no sugar Coke, I might just cover a bit more succinctly kind of where I'm at in prep and kind of my approach over the next, it's about 19 weeks, 18 and a half weeks of prep that remains. So currently my split is push, pull, legs, shoulders, arms, rest, repeat. That kind of allows for twice every 10 days frequency, 2 rest days every 10 days frequency. It's not unconventional, the split, but it's not as optimal probably as kind of like an upper lower or a push pull legs upper lower, but I do need a bit more arms, in my opinion, kind of just to sustain what I got currently. So I did modify the quad volume. Let's just turn this shit off. Recently just added a couple sets of leg extensions on my hamstring focus leg day. And my diet at the moment is consisting of 2,200 calories, 220 protein, 210 carbs, and 55 fat, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that's correct. So 2,215 calories. Got like oats, berries, honey, eggs for, not honey, eggs, but honey and eggs for breakfast. 2 meals in between dinner, consisting of extra lean beef mince, sweet potato, broccoli, and then chicken rice and salad with fish and beans on a couple pieces of bread for dinner. Although some days the diet is a bit flexible, kind of what fits your macros depending on what time my shifts are. If I have a later shift, I'll rock a cheeky high carb meal. Oh, I forgot my pre workout meal, which is rice, a banana, and a scoop of whey. Um, I'll modify that, combine it with the oats. Oh, hold on. My peak bulk weight was 87 kilos. That was my heaviest. Might have just touched it for a day or two, but a safe 86. I had a pre-prep phase, which was a health phase as well. Dropped back down to 80 doing that, so gear came out just to TRT levels. And then after these 3 weeks, yeah, after the last 3 weeks, I've dropped to a low of 76.6, so say roughly 3 kilos. I weighed in this morning at 77.8. I had a high day 2 days ago. Just while gear's saturating, I kind of want to maintain the weight just so not too much varies in this period. And then after next week, gear will be fully saturated in the blood plasma. I'll get a blood test done. Probably toss in an AI, and then we'll see how we go the next couple weeks. Get another blood test done. So far, I've recomped. Even comparing pictures from last week to this week, I'm a bit harder, which is nice. Leaner, at the same weight. So that's a good thing to see. Cardio is pretty non-existent. I'm hitting a session today. Just poor sleep last night. A few factors out of my control. But and this is probably one of the hardest days so far. Not necessarily a hard day, but this is kind of where, you know, you gotta grit your teeth and just push through whatever you find difficult anyway. That's kind of the reality of prep is, A, you're gonna be hungry. I've only got one meal left for the day. B, you're gonna be tired. The yelling matches last night kept me up. Had to get up for work at 3:45 this morning. And yeah, it's just external factors that are going to influence how you feel. But if you still execute on the things that you can control, then your ability to achieve your goals will be higher. So I'm just trying to, just get used to the reality of prep, considering it's my first one. There's just a lot of grey area. So essentially, I'd spoken to a couple of fellas in the industry, and I've got, in my opinion, another 7 or 8 kilos to come off. So ending possibly at a prep low of the high 60 kilos, like 69 and a half, and dare say step on stage at between 70 and 72 after carving up. So that'll be well under the weight cap, which is 84 kilos for a 5'7" amateur classic physique competitor. So no stress there. That's going to be great. And that leaves room for growth as well. Depending, not necessarily an issue in this show, but my next show I have 10 kilos of lean tissue to put on easily, and on my frame that would look fucking nutty in my opinion if I concentrate on adding mass in the right areas as a classic athlete. Other than that though, my cardio sessions 3 times a week at the moment. Nothing insane. Weight's still coming off. Well, I'm getting harder at the moment. Pause. However, I've still got room to increase the total deficit through expenditure, as well as my steps are pretty average, 10,000 steps. Um, my cardio sessions, 20 minutes, low intensity, steady state, so over 120 BPM, between 120 and 130. No issue on joint stress yet. I think because my estrogen runs a bit high, so joints are lubricated. If you have any questions regarding my first prep, which I'll be coaching myself through, by the way, I didn't quite make that clear. Like, I am coaching myself through this prep in lieu of John Jewett. I've purchased his J3U Level 1 course, and I studied through the prep module initially, as you can pick and choose which modules you study. Reviewed the PD module as well as nutrition, kind of cherry picking what was relevant for me, and obviously still in the process of studying that. But yeah, it's been very insightful and allowed me to come at this prep a bit more data-based and data-driven, and then allowing myself to make educated decisions and the next step. But it's a lot of testing on this prep, and I feel like that'd be useful for if or when I pick up a coach. But I'm just gonna sink this down, might even just take it in there, and I'll chat to you on the treadmill if I have anything come to mind, or you'll see me get some posing in. Alrighty guys, I'm just gonna run you through some posing right here. Typically, if I'm doing just cardio, I'll do posing, but I always do it after every session, and I'll kind of just run you through poses and any tips I have. Not really a posing master, but I'd say I go right. Currently, I do not have any posing trunks, so I kind of just emulate what I got with my undies. Right. I do want to show a little bit of glute just to see the conditioning. Yeah, let's get into it. Always hit a front double bi first up. So setting the legs every pose first. So make sure they're on. So spreading out against the ground. Bit of a bend. Vacuum. Hips back to make sure I'm activating the quads. Same sort of thing here. Spread the legs, knees out, hips back. Exhale, vacuum. Alright, into the side pose. Gonna step back and pull the adductor across my body. Press up and across with my spike the calf there. Cradle the rib cage. I'm still improving on that pose. Gonna hit a modified side try. Again, get a bit of a bend in the leg. Exhale, twist. Same sort of thing with ab and thigh out. Squeeze the floor, hips back. Just want to be applying pressure through like a pull down. Sorry, pull over. Alright. Ab and bicep here. Tick up. Alright. The Arnold pose. Turn the glute on, hips forward under the rib cage, even arms. Oh. Say that again, I didn't quite gently rotate it off. Alright, with the back double bi, again you want to be, this time squeezing the floor in to turn the hamstrings on. Alright, you can squeeze the glutes a little bit, but that can cause you to tuck your pelvis. Now I do need to work on keeping a slight bend, like you're sitting down in a chair. Oh. Didn't quite keep the bend there, so I'm gonna try it again in the back lat spread. Most muscular here. I hit it a bit modified, one leg raise, kind of like Lee Labrada used to. One hand like that. Get the lighting good. Squeeze. Again, most muscular here. Alright, and we got mantis pose. Similar to the Arnold, hips forward, spike the calf a little bit, and like you're hitting a side relaxed with the shoulders. Front relax. Basically a front lat, making a nice diamond shape up top. Might hit a vacuum here. Side relax. Again, diamond shape. Pull the adductor across. Glute on. Crunch. Back relax. Similar sort of deal. Squeeze. Hamstrings on. I just gotta work on lining up the lower mid-back. Again, side relax. Imagining a vertical line perpendicular to the floor here. Alright, I'm gonna practice my little flow that I got going on. Alright. Oh, wrong one. Didn't mind that side try action, actually. So that's a little rundown. At the moment I've got it at one round of posing. I'll probably chuck that up to 2 rounds soon, because as you can see, my freaking posing endurance is terrible. And probably focus less on kind of hitting the poses as hard as I can, and more so the quality of the poses, but that's something that as long as I'm aware of, I can keep improving on. This is just a little rundown of a rest day.
When I can, I'll film a push day, full day. We'll do like a full day of eating on a day where I don't have to work, which might be a hot minute before that happens, but yeah, I want to take you guys along with me, whoever's watching, interested in amateur bodybuilding or prepping for the first time themselves. And, you know, I'd like to share difficulties, highs and lows of prepping and what to expect going in as a competitor for the first time. Let's look at this freaky shit. Hold on. Let's get a zoom on that. Fucking focus. Look at that. Dang. Let's see if I just... Look at that. A little bit gyno. Goes alright, doesn't it? Hell yeah. Hell fucking yeah. But, yeah. If I can see. Spin that the wrong way. Yeah, we'll see how we go, eh? Anyway. Peace out, YouTube. Probably chuck this up. You might be seeing this on Sunday the 25th. 25th if you're Australian. If I lock in this afternoon, which I might just to keep me busy because I've only got one fucking meal left. But enjoy, people.